Hey y'all, hey y'all. I hope all is well today. Let me get all my stuff up here. Bear with me, y'all. Still trying to get all of my life together. But I have a lot that we can talk about today. I know we skipped a week from last week. But we're going to go through finding or defining purpose. And this was from our last poll. We do a poll every week to determine which topics we're going to talk about. And actually, I'm going to move my device over here for my notes because it's kind of annoying looking at it from this angle. So I'm going to move this up here. Of course, now I got a glare on my face, but hey, that's what it's going to have to be today. I hope that your Monday went well. Definitely let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm excited to kind of talk through our topic for tonight on defining purpose. If this is your first time, my name is Debbie. I'm a certified mindfulness coach. And we talk about these different topics every week to just kind of give some more insight on different topics, especially the ones that are being requested by the poll. All of the topics are primarily mindfulness or mental health topics. And yeah, so feel free to, if this is your first time watching, make sure to like the live, subscribe if you haven't already. Yeah, definitely check in with us every week. So when it comes to defining purpose, if you see me looking away from my screen, it's basically because I have notes. I take notes on this every week, just so that way I can make sure I give you guys quality, important, tactful, strategic information. It's not all straight from the dome. So if you see me look away at my screen, it's because I'm reading through my notes on the topic. But just to kind of dive in. So when it comes to why we struggle with the topic of purpose, there are several different reasons that I want to kind of talk through. And then there are several, I want to say, how many affirmations do we have tonight? We have a lot of affirmations tonight. So we actually have 10 affirmations on defining purpose. I'll get through them quickly. I won't go through it and talk about each individual one. I'll point out some important points, but I usually try to give detailed information about it. We have a lot tonight, so I want to make sure that I am mindful of time because I know we all got busy lives, you know? So if you haven't already, make sure to like the live. Hey, Hiru, welcome in, welcome in. Make sure to like the live. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't. We're talking about all things mental health. Tonight is about defining purpose. So I'm diving into 4 points that I want to talk through just to kind of explain, you know, why we may struggle with finding or defining our purpose. And then I'll go through the 10 affirmations that you can utilize thereafter. So the first reason that I want us to really understand when it comes to defining purpose is honesty. We have to really be honest with ourselves. Sometimes we qualify ourselves in spaces we shouldn't, and then other times we disqualify ourselves in spaces that we should qualify ourselves. And because of that, it creates confusion when it comes to purpose. So we have to be honest with ourselves, with what our passions are, where our strong suits are, where our strengths are, what is most inspiring for us, what motivates us, like really being honest with ourselves in regards to that, and removing any other ideas or ideologies that may come from outside sources or external sources, whether it be our own environment, just our own circumstances, just what our parents tell us, what our friends tell us, what our siblings tell us. Just really being and sitting, being an honest, very honest with ourselves in regards to what we want out of life and what we are most inspired and motivated by. Hello, Sam. Hello, Max. Welcome in. Welcome in. Thank you so much. So that's point number one, honesty. Point number two is we have to be a little bit more curious about everything, really. We have to question everything, especially those things that we do just because, whether it be what we're currently working in, what activities we do on a day-to-day basis, like really question everything and really ask ourselves, why do I do this? Is this because I have a desire and a passion to do this? Or is it something that, maybe someone else has told me that I should do? Or someone else picked out for me? Or it's something that just kind of just goes along with the family, tree, and it's something that I just do just because my family does it. Just thinking and being very curious about the activities we do, the creativity that we pursue, just thinking about everything and really just digesting it and understanding, am I doing this for me? Am I doing this because I'm passionate about it, or am I doing it just because I was told to? Like, why am I doing these things? Um, and this is more so not just to be super curious and to change things, but to really discover our values and make an effort to really establish and identify and define what we value, right? Because a lot of times we go through these day-to-day things that we go through when it comes to work or just with school or whatever, and we're not valuing it. That's why we're not passionate about it. That's why we feel burned out. That's why we get depressed often. That's why we go through these, different feelings and emotions when it comes to our day-to-day lives, because we're not really being curious and honest with ourselves on what our desires are, what we want, and what we're passionate about. So that's point number two. Point number three, in regards to why we're struggling with the topic of purpose and finding our purpose, is most of the time we're operating in survival mode. And when you're operating in survival mode, it's going to be very difficult for you to make decisions on what your purpose is, right? So it's hard to find purpose when trauma is speaking so loudly. A lot of times we're, thinking that we're operating our purpose, and we're thinking that, what we're doing is what we're supposed to do, when really we're listening to trauma. We're listening to the effects of trauma. And until we are able to resolve those things and pull ourselves out of survival mode, it's going to be very difficult for us to define or determine what our purpose is. So it's hard to figure that out when you're tired, when you're burned out, when you're depressed, when you're frustrated, when you're confused, when you have brain fog, when you have no energy, right? There's going to be very difficult for you to determine a purpose when have that survival mode light on all of the time. And sometimes we don't even know that we're operating in survival mode, because it's been a common norm, or it's just normal for us to be in survival mode. And survival mode feels comfortable, weirdly. It feels not necessarily comfortable, but it may feel familiar. Right? And just because something feels familiar doesn't mean that it's a benefit for us, right? So just understanding that if you are operating in survival mode, it's going to be hard for you to define your purpose when you're in that state of mind. How do you get out of that state of mind? Diving into therapy, diving into journaling and gratitude, and really digging into where those frustrations and depression and sadness and burnout is coming from. And a lot of times we're in that survival mode, or we're in those states of mind because we're not operating in purpose. But we have to pull ourselves out of it before we can even think about defining it and what that looks like for ourselves. So that's point number three. Point number 4, which is the last point before we go into our affirmations, is cultivating faith and hope. Okay, so sometimes we give up on our purpose because we lose faith and hope in whatever we had in any given time. You may have had more faith and hope and belief when you were younger, and then as the years kind of gone on, you just kind of felt a feeling of hopelessness or defeat, or just feeling like your purpose or whatever that purpose may be is unattainable. And not just unattainable in regards to not being able to accomplish it, but being unattainable in being able to define it. Sometimes we get so bottled up with, I don't know what my purpose is. I don't know what my purpose is. I don't know why I'm here. I don't know what I'm meant to do. And life kind of beats us up to the point where we feel like even the purpose in itself, or having a purpose in itself, is not an attainable thing. So really tapping back into hope and faith and belief and understanding that everyone that's here has a purpose. You have meaning. You're here for a reason, and it's up to us to figure out what that is, but that doesn't mean that you don't have it at all. And I feel like when we get to the state of hopelessness where we feel like we have no purpose, that there's no reason, there's not a reason why we're here, we're just existing. That's the mindset that's the worst place to be in, because at that point, it's like, what's the point of living? What's the point of moving on? So really recultivating faith, recultivating hope, and understanding that you're here for a reason. We all know that everyone here is here for a reason. It's just a matter of defining what that reason is, and not allowing our minds to get to a point where us finding or defining a purpose is unattainable or not possible, because it is. If something exists, then that means you just have to find it, right? It doesn't mean that it doesn't exist until you find it. You know what I mean? So think about that. Ponder on that. Your purpose is always within you. It's just a matter of you exploring you to really understand, what that is. I will be honest, when it comes to defining purpose, I only found that through God. As you all know, you may not know, with my channel, I am a believer, so it was really difficult for me to really hone in on it without it. Now, when it comes to everyone, I know everyone believes in different things, and I'm not saying that you can't find a purpose if you don't, but that's what worked for me. So all I can give y'all is what worked for me, and the Lord worked for me, y'all. I'm just saying. So when it comes to cultivating hope and faith and hope, there's a few different suggestions that I have here in my notes. So just exercising the things that you're passionate about. And it's okay that you don't know everything about your passion. I think sometimes we feel like because we don't know the ins and out of the things that we're passionate about, that it's not necessarily a part of our purpose. So just because it's something that you're passionate about and you don't know all of the details, or you don't have it all understood or together, doesn't mean that it's not your purpose. It just means you have to educate yourself in a space. And then also too, just because passion is definitely something that comes to you easily, but it doesn't mean that you don't have to critique it or get better or educate yourself in this space. I think sometimes when we get into a state of, is this my purpose? Well, my purpose is supposed to come easy to me. That's true to an extent. Just because something comes easy to you doesn't mean that you don't have to invest the time and energy to fine tune it, to get better at it, to make it, second nature for you. So really take the time to understand that even if it's something that I'm passionate about and something that comes easy to me, it's okay to have to educate myself even more in that space. That just means that you're passionate about it, that you have a love for it, and why not educate yourself in a space that you're passionate about, something you really are excited to learn about. So don't allow your passions that you don't have a lot of knowledge in deter you from thinking that it's a part of your purpose. That's all I'm really essentially saying. And then I said that. Oh, and then ask yourself a few questions when it comes to defining your purpose. I talked at the top of the live about understanding your values and defining your values. I know that I've talked about finding or discovering your values or your personal values before. There are several videos that you'll be able to find on my channel when it comes to discovering values, including a values meditation that you can do to kind of think through them. But really figuring out what you value, what you love and what you're passionate about, like really taking the time to journal these things out. And then what do you do well, and how does what you do well service others? I feel like a lot of times our purpose is attached to how it services other people. And a lot of times our purpose is going to involve others in some capacity, in some way. So just really thinking through, like, what am I passionate about? What do I do well? What comes easy to me? What inspires me? What motivates me? What gives me the most fulfillment? Even going back and recalling situations where you felt the most fulfilled, or you felt the most inspired or the most motivated, really digging into those times in your life and journaling and writing them down. Okay, during this time, I felt the most fulfilled. What was happening during this time that allowed me to feel that way? And removing the material things, like, oh, I got a job, or I did this, or like removing all of that, but really thinking about the unmaterialistic things that were giving you fulfillment. Was it helping other people? Was it servicing people in a certain way? Was it attached to speaking, or was it attached to singing or creativity or anything along those lines? Just really thinking about it, but not on the surface, really thinking about the detailed situations where you have found yourself fulfilled, motivated, and inspired. Okay? Even if you have to go back to childhood. I'm like, 37 now, and going to school to be a counselor. And going through my process of counseling, and of course they make you discover yourself. When I think back to my childhood, one of the first jobs that I ever said that I wanted to do was to be a psychologist. And when I thought about it, I was like, you know what? I did say that maybe second, third grade. But when I thought about it, I was like, I mean, it took me a long time to get here. I'm 37. But like, just thinking about those things when you had, the world was your oyster, and you were really thinking about like what you really wanted to do and what you were passionate about. The fact that I said that in second grade, but didn't initially go to college in that way, didn't explore that when I was a young adult, didn't explore that all until I hit 37, 36, right? Like really thinking about those passions that you had when you were a child, those things that you found creative, if you like to draw, if you like to do all of these different things, and really exploring those passions. And then in addition to exploring it when journaling, just start doing some things. Like if you love to draw and you haven't drew anything in a long time, or if you liked poetry, or if you liked writing at any capacity, it's not just exploring it like in a journal, but also just exploring it and seeing how it feels to you now. If you liked singing, or if you liked making music, or if you liked crafts or anything along those lines, just start doing it and seeing like, hey, does this inspire me now? Does this motivate me now? The answer may be no, but at least you explored it to kind of figure it out. So those are the tips that I have as far as like just cultivating faith, cultivating hope, and cultivating inspiration. And then also just lastly, just understanding that your purpose may show up physically in a different way in different seasons of your life, right? So for me personally, I feel like my purpose is to create inspiration in others and to help others make difficult decisions in life, right? So I feel like that's my purpose in life, regardless of however I have found myself, whatever career. So, with that being my purpose in my career, I've done banking. I've been a banker, which is helping people make difficult financial decisions. After that, I went into higher education as an admissions advisor and an academic advisor, which basically helping people make difficult decisions about their education. And then now, outside of me being a mindfulness coach, I'm in recruiting, so helping people make difficult decisions about their career. So even though it wasn't something that I was mindful of throughout the whole time of my career, I still found myself operating in my purpose, but it looked different in each season. So just to kind of give you a visual of what that actually could look like, you can also think about your own career and think about what you've worked in the past and how they're related and how they're interchangeable, and what jobs in your past you've really really liked and was really excited about, and then what jobs in your past you weren't excited about and that you ended up leaving quickly. So really discovering all of that and thinking of all aspects. Okay, perfect. So we're diving into affirmations. Feel free to use these affirmations however you wish to. You can write them down in your journal. You can do sticky notes if you wish to. You can, record yourself saying them. You can recite them to yourselves in the morning. However you wish to do that, by all means, feel free to do so. Also, if you want to change the language in any of these affirmations, feel free to do that as well. There is no, if it doesn't make sense to you when it comes to how it's worded, it's okay. You can change the words to make it make sense for you. Okay. So, affirmation number 1. I trust that I am here for a reason and there is meaning to my journey. I trust that I'm here for a reason and there is meaning to my journey. I trust that I am here for a reason and there is meaning to my journey. So trust that you're here for a reason, you guys. Everyone is here for a reason and a purpose to fulfill. And if you have life and you have breath in your body right now, there is purpose. And don't allow anyone or any situation or any environment make you feel like you don't have a reason to be here, because you do. Each and every one of you that are watching, you have reason, you have meaning, you have purpose. And don't allow the woes of life and the difficulties and the struggles in life that we currently have. I know that what we're living in right now is not the easiest situations to be in. Even if you are excelling, whether it be career wise or personal wise, just life in general is tough in this climate that we're living in right now. So regardless of that, or irregardless of that, understand and trust and know that you have meaning and that you are here for a reason and that you have purpose. So that was number 1. I trust that I'm here for a reason and there is meaning to my journey. Number 2, small steps toward clarity and peace will lead me to my purpose. Small steps toward clarity and peace will lead me to my purpose. I'll say that again. Small steps toward clarity and peace will lead me to my purpose. So understand that even if you are taking just small steps to get to your purpose or to discover your purpose, that's progress. Okay. Be patient. Be patient with yourself. Be patient with your environment. Be patient with your situations. And basically work toward clarity. Work toward peace. And the more that you work toward clarity and peace and let go of the sadness and the depression and the burnout and the frustration, the more that we let those things fall off and strive for clarity and peace, the more that it will lead you to the purpose that you're looking for. It's not a race. Okay, we have our whole lives to define purpose. And like I said before, defining purpose may look different depending on the season of life that you're in. So just understand that and know that and keep that close to your heart. So that was number 2. Number 3, I am patient and trust that my purpose will reveal itself. I am patient and trust that my purpose will reveal itself. I am patient and trust that my purpose will reveal itself. Just in regards to the previous affirmation, with the small steps, we have to be patient and we have to trust that our purpose will reveal itself, which it will. And it may have already revealed itself. You may already be operating your purpose in some capacity or just not mindful of it. So understand that with the patience and trusting, your purpose will reveal itself and it will come. That was number 3. So number 4, even in my darkest moments, I am worthy of finding purpose. Even in my darkest moments, I am worthy of finding purpose. Even in my darkest moments, I am worthy of defining purpose. So even if you are not your best self, your purpose can still be fulfilled. Okay? Just because you are not your best self right now, you're not the best version of yourself, it doesn't mean that your purpose just goes away. Right? It doesn't mean that your purpose now has no meaning, and it doesn't mean that it can't be fulfilled. We sometimes allow shame and guilt to override what our purpose is, and it's difficult for us to navigate in purpose when we don't feel good about ourselves, right? So understanding that even in your darkest moments, that you are worthy of finding purpose. Don't let go of that, even if you just feel like right now, like you're just not in the best space. And that's okay. We're not always going to be in the best space. We're not always going to be the best versions of ourselves. So know that that's okay. And don't allow that to deter you from defining a purpose or fulfilling or continuing to fulfill your purpose. So that was number 4. Yes, that was number 4. Number 5, my journey is unique and my purpose comes to me effortlessly. My journey is unique and my purpose comes to me effortlessly. My journey is unique and my purpose comes to me effortlessly. So just understanding that your purpose is unique to you. And even if someone next to you has a similar purpose or a purpose that looks similar or looks the same, it doesn't mean that it takes away from yours. And it doesn't mean that you don't go after yours, right? And it doesn't mean that, that the journey changes or differs just because you see somebody else fulfilling that same purpose. Sometimes we look at other people and they're maybe in the same space that we're in, or they have the same career or the same background or environment, and we may look at them and they may have looked like they progressed further than we do, and because of that we allow that to be a deterrent from us fulfilling our purpose. Just because someone else is doing the same thing that you're doing doesn't mean that you're not needed in that space. I have to tell myself all the time, because mental health is like a big point of people talk about it all the time. There's a lot of mindset coaches, there's a lot of mindfulness coaches, there's a lot of meditation coaches, there's a lot of coaches. And even though there are a lot and it's a bit saturated, right? Like I still have to tell myself, like, in spite of that, maybe there's something that I say that somebody else may have needed that nobody else would say, or they may not have access to that person. So the people that have access to me may need to hear what I have to say. And regardless, if I don't say it, then, maybe they won't hear it. So just really thinking about, like, in spite of somebody else being in the same space that I'm working in, there are ears that need to hear what you have to say, or there may be people that need your service or need your purpose to be fulfilled. And I always continue to work in my purpose by stating to myself, like, maybe someone else's blessing is linked to me operating in my purpose. And if I don't operate in my purpose, then I'm letting other people down by not, fulfilling what I'm supposed to fulfill for them to get the blessing, right? So sometimes I have to think about it in that way. And hey, people may disagree with me on that or not. I don't know. But just understanding that in spite of what you see, you're still needed to operate in the way that you're supposed to operate, and understand that. That was number 5. Yes, I think that was number 5. Number 6, I trust the process of self-discovery and remain open to new possibilities. I trust the process of self-discovery and remain open to new possibilities. I trust the process of self-discovery and remain open to new possibilities. So understanding and trusting the process to discover you and to discover your identity, discover what you want. Again, going back to your values and discovering what your values are. And from there, you may see other things that you've never seen before, right? And being open to those possibilities and being willing and curious, like we talked about earlier in the call, being more curious about these new possibilities and not being afraid to try things, being open to try things that you may not have thought about. That just through your discovery that you found. So be open to that. Number 7, my divine purpose is a reflection of my deepest values and desires. My divine purpose is a reflection of my deepest values and desires. My divine purpose, I keep saying define. My divine purpose is a reflection of my deepest values and desires. So going back to values and establishing what your values are in order to define your purpose. Number 8, I am meant to make a positive impact and my purpose will guide me there. I am meant to make a positive impact and my purpose will guide me there. I am meant to make a positive impact and my purpose will guide me there. So understanding that you can make a positive impact, even little you. I know people be like, oh, little old me, like nobody cares about what I have to say or what I do, or even you. So understanding that that you can, that your divine purpose is linked, in a reflection of your deepest values. So the more that you dive into your values, the more that you understand your desires and passions, the more that you take time to really understand those things, the more that you'll be aligned with your purpose. Okay, so that was my divine purpose is a reflection of my deepest values and desires. Number 8, I am meant to make a positive. Oh wait, this might have been me going off of. Wait, I am meant to make a positive impact, and my purpose will guide me there. Hey, sorry y'all. So yes, so going back to that one, I was talking about a different one. Maybe I should highlight where I'm at. So making sure that you understand that you can make a positive impact and your impact matters, okay? And your purpose will guide you to what that impact looks like. And even if it's an impact of one person, that's great. That's a wonderful thing, So understanding that you can make a positive impact in regards to it being linked to your purpose and not be afraid of that, okay? That was number 8. Sorry, y'all. So now we're on number 9. We have 10 here. Number 9, my purpose may be hidden beneath the pain, but it's always within me. I said that earlier. My purpose may be hidden beneath the pain, but it's always within me. My purpose may be hidden beneath the pain, but it's always within me. Your purpose is always there. It's always there. It's always there with you. It's just a matter of you either being conscious of it, because maybe it's a subconscious or unconscious thing that you're not aware what the type of purpose or the type of impact that you're making, or it's something that's there underneath. You just haven't been able to explore it because of whatever circumstances you may have found yourself in, whether it be with trauma or your environment or whatever. But I even feel like even in those situations that your purpose is still present. People can still see it, but you may have a difficulty seeing it. And then number 10, lastly, my pain is a part of my story and it will guide me towards a deeper understanding of me. My pain is a part of my story and it will guide me toward a deeper understanding of me. My pain is a part of my story and it will guide me toward a deeper understanding of me. So purpose is still found in the mistakes and failures that we have, right? Even if you have a mistake that you've made, even if you had a failure, maybe if you had a mishap or a setback, your purpose can still be found in that, right? And maybe the mistake and the failure was for you to be able to learn a lesson, so that way it will push you into your purpose. Sometimes we find ourselves where failures happen, and if those failures wouldn't have happened, we wouldn't have been able to see the blessings that come out on the other side. So just understanding that where there's failure, where there's mistakes, it doesn't necessarily mean that there is no purpose within it. I truly, honestly believe that when it comes to purpose and when it comes to the things that happen in our lives, the mistakes and the failures that happened in our life, that all things work together for the good. And even though we may not see it in that moment, it definitely, in hindsight, most of the time I can go back and see, okay, now I see why that happened. Now I see why I had to go through that. Now I see why, I needed to learn that lesson, because it's helping me in this moment that I'm going through. And this is going to be a success because of the fact that I learned this lesson at this time. So don't allow your mistakes, don't allow your failures to get you wrapped up in guilt and shame. Just take a moment to really think about those failures and mistakes and see what you can learn from it, see what you can pull from it, so that way when something like that comes back up or pops back up, you're like, oh, I've been here before. I know what to do this time. Okay, so that was number 10. I hope that all of these affirmations were helpful. I'm gonna go back through them from the top just so that way you have them, or if you missed any. The first one was, I trust that I am here for a reason and there is meaning in my journey. Number 2, small steps toward clarity and peace will lead me to my purpose. Number 3, I am patient and trust that my purpose will reveal itself. Number 4, even in my darkest moments, I am worthy of finding purpose. Number 5, my journey is unique and my purpose comes to me effortlessly. Number 6, I trust the process of self-discovery and remain open to new possibilities. Number 7, my divine purpose is a reflection of my deepest values and desires. Number 8, I am meant to make a positive impact and my purpose will guide me there. Number 9, my purpose may be hidden beneath the pain, but it's always within me. And lastly, number 10, my pain is a part of my story and it will guide me toward a deeper understanding of me. I hope these were helpful, y'all. There will be a meditation this weekend on finding purpose, so definitely look out for that. It'll probably be a 10-minute one. And then I'll also post a poll for new topics to talk about starting next week. We do have mental health awareness. Mental Health Day? I think it's on the 10th of October. World Mental Health Day. That's what it is. So we do have World Mental Health Day. Hello, hi Max. We do have World Mental Health Day that is coming up. So I might do like a special live or something on that day. We'll see. Or maybe it'll just be like a live meditation on World Mental Health Day. We'll figure it out, okay? But until then, you all have a great rest of your day. God bless, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.